Hello and welcome to our Tuesday talk / cooking video. I'm curious, I have a flashing thing saying, well, if when somebody comes on, let's double check the sound here. We are doing a little summer spice mix here, and oh, I see what's going on. I think I see what's going on. Okay. Okay, my phone, the volume button was being pushed on the phone, and so it was flashing at me that there was no sound. But I think we're okay. All right. So welcome back to my kitchen. And today we're going to be making a summer spice mix. There's lots of different seasonal spice mixes that are out there. The one that I'm going to be sharing with you is from Kate O'Donnell's Everyday Ayurveda Cookbook. And this cookbook, I recommend all the time to people. It's one of my favorite cookbooks for beginning to understand Ayurveda. And so a little plug for this cookbook. I don't get any kickbacks from plugging it, but I did once meet Kate O'Donnell. She's very lovely. But the first part of this book is basically like an intro to Ayurveda. So that's really awesome to like understand how Ayurveda works and the seasons. And then it's divided up seasonally. You can see along the edge there, there's like these colors. Those are my tabs too, but there's color coding for each season. And it's just, it makes it so simple. Like you don't even have to know your Ayurvedic constitution or your dosha. You just like, I'm eating seasonally. So that's really, really great. And every season is made up of different elements in terms of the qualities that are happening during that season. And so for instance, summertime is Pitta season. The elements are fire and water. And so we're dealing with more heat and moisture in the environment in general. Kind of depends on where you live, right? But this season, we're generally focusing on keeping the digestive fire kindled without overheating it. And we don't need as much moisture retention in the body. We're more likely to be like, we're hydrating, but probably maybe swimming in some water, and there's rain falling in our environment too. So anyway, this spice mix that we're going to make today is on page 193 of the cookbook, if you have the cookbook. And I'll post the recipe with this too. I'll read to you what she says, and then or actually, why don't we get this dry roasting and then I'll read this to you, because we'll have some time then. So the recipe is 1 tablespoon whole coriander seeds. So I'm going to just go through this and show this to you. So this is Banyan's old bag, actually, coriander seeds. So we're going to do a tablespoon. I love coriander seeds so much. They're one of my favorite things to put in dishes that I make. So we're going to dry roast the coriander, cumin, and fennel seeds. So those of you familiar with CCF, here they are in edible form. CCF tea is a pretty standard tea in Ayurveda. We use it in the detox. So we're going to do a tablespoon each of cumin. So this is cumin seeds. I just put in there. And then we're going to do fennel. So you can get these at your local grocery store. They're a lot cheaper to buy in bulk than to buy in little bits. But you can buy like, little shaker jars or whatever. So here's our pan, and we're going to dry roast these. So I'm not putting any oil or anything in the pan. And I'm going to get our little sure we're here. So the directions right now are to dry roast the coriander, cumin, and fennel seeds in a heavy bottomed pan on medium heat for a few minutes until you can smell them. Okay, so that's what we're doing right now. So I love cooking with cast iron, big fan of it. We have this funny gas stove that we have to light, but it's great to cook with. So, oh, you're welcome, Catalina. She said, thank you for sharing this. So you're so welcome. So this is what Kate O'Donnell says about the summer Ayurvedic spice mix. She says, you will notice the other seasonal chapters. So if you have the book and you've read the other seasonal chapters and you see the recipes for the seasonal spice mixes. Let me start over. You will notice the other seasonal chapters feature a salt recipe. Here, I've eliminated it because the humidity of summer warrants a lower salt intake. And salt is heating, and it makes you retain fluid in your body. So she says, rejoice in the tastiness of fresh herbs instead of salt. So on this page, there's also a little sidebar about using fresh herbs as garnish because we are in the season of fresh herbs. So using things like dill, cilantro, parsley, things like that you can add to your meals fresh, not in our spice mix. So she says by doing the reduction of salt, you'll reduce water retention and the puffy or bloated feeling some folks get in the heart of summer. Cardamom and turmeric, which are the two other ingredients that we're not dry roasting. So I have these are powders, not seeds or roots. Turmeric's a root. I actually have oh yeah, I was making some stuff earlier. So this is a turmeric root. So we're not using that. I'm smelling them. These are starting to be very aromatic. Again, maybe one day our technology will develop that I can send smell through the camera to you. So these are starting to smell very tasty. So she says cardamom and turmeric counteract stomach acid. So integrating the summer spice mix into your meals will balance a potential increase of hot and sharp qualities. So that's our task in the summertime, is to make sure that we're not aggravating pitta. We're not exacerbating things that are heat inducing, right? Or heat aggravated. So during the summer, we really focused on cooling things, but not everybody needs a ton of cooling. We need that more if you have an imbalance, pitta imbalance, or you're pitta predominant. So that tendency to go out of whack will happen in the season of your predominant dosha or your predominant imbalance. So that's kind of fun to explore every year as you journey through the seasons to see what each season has to offer you. So I know as somebody who is Vata Pitta, that's my constitution, that I especially can go out of balance in Vata season, which is the fall and early winter. It's dry and mobile. There's less warmth and light. It's cold. So that is when I tend to get really aggravated. And I can get a little aggravated in the summer, but not quite as much. So these spices, so coriander is cilantro, basically, and cilantro is very cooling. And so the coriander seeds are really nice for pitta season. Cumin is warming, but not overly so. It is generally used as a digestive aid, so it's an Agni support herb, but it doesn't overly heat pitta like some of the more drying and heating things like jalapenos or wasabi or something like that, cayenne. And then fennel has a sweetness to it and kind of licoricey, and it is very cooling and also gently supports the digestive system too. So isn't that cool? So we're going to take these herbs now, and let's go back to our directions here. Pulling my extension cord here. Directions. So then we're gonna let them cool completely. So I'm actually gonna put these in my little bowl here to cool, because if they stay in the pan, they won't cool very quickly. This is my carrot bowl. I used to make those. So we're gonna let them cool a bit, and then we're gonna grind them up. So we're basically drying them out a little bit more than they are just in the bags, and then they'll grind up more easily. So then we can use this grinder. So this is like a Mr. Coffee. Yeah, Mr. Coffee grinder. But it's used here for spices. So coffee grinders are fabulous for grinding spices. You can also purchase a spice grinder and grind up the spices. So you can do whole seeds. You can also alternatively use, I use this sometimes when I'm cooking, a mortar and pestle. So you put this in here and then smash it up. I think David was using this yesterday for mint. So there's we have this strawberry mint. It's so good. We have a couple different types of mint this year. We have chocolate mint, regular mint, and strawberry mint. So you can also kind of grind it up yourself, but it won't be so finely ground. Let's see, is there a question here? I have a cast iron skillet and the cumin seeds, fennel, and coriander, although my coriander is in powder form. So just dry roast the seeds. Don't do the powders. So just do the cumin and coriander. Just the fennel. Right, you have fennel and cumin seeds. Dry roast those. Don't dry roast the powder, because you're going to be making powder. And the powder doesn't need to go in your spice grinder either. It gets a little messy. Okay, so now I'm putting these seeds into the spice grinder, and I'm going to grind them up. Okay, and this grinder has, like, you heard it go off. It wasn't because I took my thumb off. It's like, it's ground now. That's nice. You can set it to the grind you want. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. So now I'm going to dump this back into the bowl and kind of wiggle it free in there. You can kind of get compacted. It smells so good. Okay, so now we have this ground up. So this is just CCF right now, cumin, coriander, and fennel. And then we're gonna add, it's still kind of warm, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon turmeric powder. So this is my turmeric. And so we're gonna add 1 tablespoon turmeric. And then 1/2 of a teaspoon of cardamom powder. Cardamom is also one of my favorite flavors of things. And do 1/2 a teaspoon of cardamom. So there's our mixture. I'm just going to use my tablespoon as the mixing. So we're going to stir in the turmeric and the cardamom powder until well combined is the direction. And so, oh my goodness, this smells so good. So you see it makes, we're basically making a curry, which is like a seasonal curry powder. And this, it will always be yellow because I think there's turmeric in every single one of them. Turmeric is especially lovely in summertime. I mean, I think everybody knows like turmeric is a great anti-inflammatory. It's also great for your skin, which is often affected during the summertime. And eating lots of turmeric makes nice, clear and glowing skin. Okay, so now we have this lovely mix. And then I have this jar that I use. I put a little label on it that says seasonal spice blend. So you can see it's stained with turmeric from every seasonal spice blend. And then I have my little silicone funnel here. So I'm just going to put the spice blend in the jar, and then it's handy dandy. So one of the things that is really cool in Ayurveda as you start exploring eating Ayurvedically and collaborating with the different seasonal ingredients is that, maybe this is too warm still to go through. It's going, there we go. Is the 6 tastes. So the 6 tastes are sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, and astringent. And we need all 6 of them to feel satiated when we're eating a meal. And so this is a really great way. This spice mix now has everything in it but salty, like she mentioned at the beginning. And most likely you'll have a little salt if you are eating salt in the food that you're making. And so then you have all 6 tastes. So we have all the tastes in this spice blend. So sometimes people get overwhelmed when they're first learning Ayurveda and are like, how do I get all the 6 tastes? And it's pretty cool to have these spice blends because this is it in a jar. It's like if you just sprinkle this on your food, you've got the 6, or in this case, 5 tastes. So this can be put on vegetables, on grains, on fish. It can be mixed into salad dressings. It can be mixed into other sauces. It can be used in curries. Kind of like endless possibilities. And this is a great way to start tuning into the different tastes and what it can feel like to use spices in aligned and medicinal way for the season. So I hope that you try this too. Check out the recipe and gather the ingredients and make your own seasonal spice mix. And you know, I might run out of this before the summer's over and then I just make another batch. You can see how easy it is. Super easy, fresh spices, and gives you more of a connection with these flavors and your food. So enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions. Cheers to your nourished summer.